What's up? What's up? Oh man, I was nowhere near. I lost again. I hit that record button, baby. It's time to record. You feel me? Check this out, man. You know I gotta do it. Wait a minute. Let me get my headphones on so I can hear it all the way. Shout out Uncle Mike on vacation. I don't care. I done tried to set this thing up. I was outside. Gotta do it, man. Shout out to my man, Gene Deal. Hey, I don't care, man. I ain't know with so many people against Gene. Damn, Gene, you got more haters? Well, I guess you should have more haters than me. You got more haters than me, bruh. Hold up, man. We dark as hell. Anyway, y'all don't want to see me. Check this out. Y'all want to hear this? Let's see if this, please play. Yeah.
They hate cause they can't create, only imitate. They watch from the bleachers while you levitate and smile in your face, but deep down it's venom. And every L they pray, but deep down you win them.
Album coming out, baby.
And you got them pacing in their mama's crib. Imagine moving smart while they barely live. It's easier to talk than it is to grind. So they type in all caps trying to block your shine. They hate what they can't touch, can't control. You the glitch in they system breaking all the mode. You moving chess, they still stuck in checkers. Wasting all their energy just being crazy hecklers. Don't tell a hater what you about to do. Just pull up clean like a sky in view. Whole plan stitch product finish tight. Let them see you glow without them in your light. Put it in their face, but don't even speak. Let your moves talk louder while moving your feet.
Drop your heat on the platform where they screw. Let them watch your wins while you reach your goal.
Don't fight them out, write them out, work them in silence. Let success be the storm, not the silence. Stay on track, don't fold to the noise. Use hate like a beat, now go flex with noise. Can't show, they can only speak. They can only hope cause their actions weak. They know it's weak, so they lie on your name. Try to dim your spot cause they lack your flame. Don't give them power, they don't have skill. That's wasted energy that you can use to build. Listen to God, let his plans unfold. Then the problem solved and the truth get told.
Check it out without a doubt. Let's see what this bad boy is all about. Gene Deal holds nothing back, exposing Diddy's trial plot against Biggie's son. What? And calls out celebrities. We calling them out, baby. Hey, y'all hit that subscribe button, man. Hit that bell. The album is out. It's gonna be a link in our description. I'm hoping it's the first link to here. Shout out to my team. Shout out to somebody tried to feed me to death. She putting her hand up. You gotta be way over here. Anyway, hit that subscribe button, man. Hit that bell. Shout out to everybody that's trying to do something positive. Shout out to everybody that's trying to help other people, at least help some people. If you think somebody is doing wrong, call them out, man. Call them out. It takes bravery. It takes a little bit of bravery to do that. Somebody doing something wrong, and I think Gene had enough, man. It's like even Roger Barnes had enough, and they kind of on both of them on the same side when it comes to this stuff, man. So anyway, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, let's check it out, man. Here we go. The art of dialogue, baby.
Gene Deal, happy to have you back on the platform, man. October 3rd, man. We're going to find out if Diddy do time or not. But I do want to ask you, how you feel about this program that he enrolled into?
Well, the programs that they put him in is because of he's getting close to release or he may be released. So the Bureau of Prisons for the federal government has to give him a program based on his crime that he committed. You know what I'm saying? He did commit a crime. He is going to jail for committing a crime, but the time is going to be based on his pre-sentence report. So now, in the pre-sentence report that the probation officers, the federal probation officer do, they go by the history. If he had any criminal history, they go by the criminal history. They go by the history, the crime. They go by what the victim statements and all that. And they do this report that they submit to the judge. And submitting that report to the judge is going to have what they believe based on the guidelines of the prison system, the guidelines of the correctional sets up based on what the time he'll do based on the crime. Now, the crime, and let's get this straight, the crime that he committed is based on the Mann Act. And that ranged anywhere from probably 22 to 54 months. Probably 22 to 54 months. And they're not going to probably run that consecutive. You understand? They probably run it concurrent with each other because he got two crimes. He committed those two crimes. So now, and like I said, he did commit a crime. You know what I'm saying? All these cats out here, you know, rapping and raving and talking about, you know, he beat the RICO, he beat that. If you go back, and I would love for you to do this, go back and see what I said. I said, if they get a verdict before the 4th, we won't get no RICO or no racketeering or none of that. You understand? And we got a verdict before the 4th. But let me finish telling you about the Bureau of Prison. He has, I think, a prostitution charge or whatever. And then having that prostitution charge, you understand the prostitution, I don't know, was it for what, transferring or soliciting prostitution or whatever like that, whatever it may be, he's going to have to do what they call a sex, probably a sex abuse or some kind of sex abuse treatment program. You understand? Because of the violence he did and he wasn't guilty of that, but they brought it up in the court and the judge know it. They had tapes and everything that they seen him beating the shit out of Cassie. People coming and saying he beat other people, did all kind of crazy shit to other people. So what they're going to do is they're going to look at that and they're going to give him a domestic violence course. And because of the drug treatment, because they caught drugs on him, they caught drugs in his house, they're going to give him a drug treatment program. You know, all those programs is going to be based and that's why he's doing the program. Because if he said, yo, I ain't doing no program and stuff like that, the judge would have been looking at him like, oh, you ain't doing no program? You ain't doing the programs? Okay, I got something for your ass. So those programs that he's doing is so he could appease the judge so he can help either with the sentencing or the fact the judge may release him. Now, based on all that and the programming and stuff like that, even if he does the program and stuff like that, the prosecution is still going to say, yo, listen to me. Okay, he did the program, he did that, but this is how much time and more time than somebody else who had the same kind of crime, this is how much time they did. Because if you notice, the judge asked the defense for a record or court cases of people getting time for this. So you know what the defense going to do? They're going to come up the least amount of time that people got for this Mann Act charge. So now you got the prosecution. They're going to put in the most time that somebody got who did this thing, who did this crime. So now the judge gonna look at the programming, look at the pre-sentence report, and decide what kind of time he gonna give him. But all that programming that he doing, all criminals, anybody who go to jail, if it's for drug dealers, they go to jail. Some of them don't even use drugs, but they take a drug class. They take the drug courses so it can look good on their record when they go in front of the probation and they go back in front of the judge. If they did a domestic violence, they take the domestic violence course. They take the domestic violence course so that when they go back in the judge, he said, okay, they took a domestic violence course. And 9 times out of 10, any course that they take, they're going to refer them out for treatment once they get out of jail. So all those courses and all those cases and all those courses that he's taking is to get him out of jail and nothing more. Nothing more to get him out of jail, bro. That's what it's about. And what I feel about it, I don't give a flying F. You understand? I don't give a flying F about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a facade. It's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He had enough money way before he got to jail. If he wanted to do something to get himself right, to get off drugs, he could have got the best doctor. You understand? He could have gotten the best treatment facility. If he wanted to stop beating women, he could have got some psychological help. He could have bought the best that money could buy. So all this shit is just to get his sorry ass out to jail. And 9 times out of 10, it usually helps. How many times you ever seen a leopard change his spots? He only taking those programs, bro, to get out of jail. And I don't, most people do that. I don't blame him, but he ain't gonna change, man. You understand? Because he know he got away with a whole lot of shit. Ain't no way those 27, those 30-something people, got up there on the stand, testify. You heard the testimony. You heard what they did. You understand? And he got away with murder, bro. Practically. He got away with murder, man. So he ain't gonna change. In his eyes, he won. Even though he did a year or so behind the bars, in his eyes, he won.
You heard how Diddy lawyer came out saying that after Diddy beat the Rico, when he went back to prison, all the inmates were celebrating?
Yeah, I heard the fact that the inmate was celebrating, and that came from his lawyer. How true it is, I don't know. But you got to realize criminals that commit crime celebrate criminals who commit crimes. So them criminals behind bars celebrating him winning a Rico, what do you expect? You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, that's the first time I believe that anybody ever won a Rico case against the Southern District. So they was applauding. Criminals applauding a criminal.
Facts.
You understand? I don't expect no less from him.
It ain't over with yet, though. I tried it. Easy. We got a long way to go. Man. So let's see what this judge is gonna do with this Trump stuff and all this other bull he say, she say. I think this judge is very, very pissed at Diddy. And I think the lawyers know that.
But it is what it is. They still behind bars. You know what I'm saying? Some deserve to be behind that, some don't. Some paying for those crimes, some ain't. But to celebrate him out of all the shit that he did, man, that just tells you the mindset of a criminal. That tells you the mindset of a criminal, bro. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna celebrate somebody who beat women even though he beat a Rico? How you gonna do that? It still was the fact that he had beat a woman. All right, okay, you beat the Rico, man, but you gonna celebrate him? And check this out, bro. These dudes who play like they hard and they all about manhood and everything like that. You heard some of the stuff that happened in those freak-offs. And you celebrating them? Wow. Wow, bro. That's crazy to me. But that's how it is. Criminals celebrating criminals.
So you really believe when Diddy gets out, he won't be a changed man?
Man, listen to me. He behind bars talking about him and Kanye West is trying to do a tour. He wasn't doing a tour before he went to jail. Now he finna do the Diddy Freak Off tour? Yeah. Him and all his fun boys will be up in that joint with Kanye West. That's a crazy concert. I guess they're gonna have a whole lot of fun. Slipping and sliding on the Astroglide and the baby oil. That's what that's gonna be about. But yeah, he's supposed to be doing a tour. He ain't gonna change, bro. He ain't gonna change. And then I heard him and what is it? TD Jakes is supposed to be getting together for his redemption tour. Oh my God, man. The devil comes in all shapes and sizes, man, and all disguises. All shapes and sizes with all disguises. Yo, this shit is crazy out here, bro. It's real crazy. Ain't no way, bro. He ain't gonna change. He ain't not gonna change. He'll come out with this whole facade, this whole brother love thing, and then next thing you know, he'll be in Bali or someplace else beating somebody out. He probably, when he go to beat somebody, he might do it out the country now. He won't do it in the United States no more. He'll do it out the country where he'll be safe.
I know you was telling me how you had an issue with some of these celebrities celebrating when Diddy beat the Rico, like Boosie and Ray J. What was your issue with that?
Well, they forgot. The same people that you just mentioned, Ray J and Boosie, they was talking about him like a dog after they seen the fact that he had beat Cassie like that. So they forgot about the mentality of this dude. Now, I can see as a black man, whereas other black men, they see that the government lost something that they really wanted. If they really wanted, and we'll get into that later. But black men are saying that, he beat the Rico, and they saying they celebrating that. And people like Boosie and Ray J, who denounced him and was saying he was foul for doing that, they probably just celebrating the fact that the government lost that part of the battle. But when the government lose that part of the battle, you understand, they lose a lot of other things, bruh. They lost a lot of other things. And in losing those other things, it gave people an opportunity to celebrate something that wasn't even real. The way they did this whole case and how they did this whole case, my man, they didn't want to put this dude behind bars. They didn't want to give this guy a lot of time. All that shit was a facade. So these dudes that's celebrating him, they got to watch what they celebrate because people will look at him as if, you celebrating a woman beater. You celebrate a sexual deviant. It ain't just what this dude do in his bedroom. It's how he treat the people around him. You celebrating all that crazy stuff. And then by you having a platform and people see that, they take it and they run with it. Like this dude wasn't a criminal. So I think they were foul for even giving that type of attention when they knew, in fact, that people could look at them and a whole and saying that, damn, they happy for Diddy that he won. And they're not really happy for him. They just saying that. But behind the walls, behind closed doors, they not happy. They probably don't even give a damn. But it looks good in the camera. It looks good for the camera for you to sit up there and praise somebody who have been getting away with doing a lot of shit behind the scenes that he's done. You understand? So I don't like the fact that they praise him because it makes it seem like they agree with all the shit that he's done. It makes them seem like they agree with all the shit that he's done. I don't believe behind the scenes, low key, they didn't give a fuck about him, to be totally honest. They don't really give a fuck about him, but then that's what looks good right now. Oh, he beat the Southern District. He beat the RICO. He beat the racketeering. Yeah. That's my man now. That's your man? All right. I guess you waiting for him to bust off on you too. Because that's what your man do to other men. That's what he around. That's what he like. But that's your man.
I want to go back to a comment you made earlier that caught my attention. You made a comment saying that this trial was a facade. What makes you feel that way?
Listen here, bro. Everybody know if you ask people, the prosecution could have gave Diddy 10 years right off the scene. Now, his lawyer and them is trying to say that was the security company weapon that he hired, that they had those weapons in Diddy's room. Bruh, would no motherfucker in the jury pool would have believed that story. Ain't no security company, and I've worked for them before, going to scratch off serial numbers to automatic weapons. So now, if they wanted to give Diddy 5 to 10 years flat, because having a automatic weapon with the serial number scratched off is anywhere from 5 to 10 years flat, federally, if you catch drugs in the house. They caught drugs in the house. So he was looking at 10 years flat. They didn't even charge him with that. They didn't even charge him with that. That's a facade. Any prosecutor just coming out of school, and I wrote board cases for the state, the first charge we gonna put in there is the gun charge. Because the judge gonna look at that. He was a convicted felon and he had guns? Now, Diddy wasn't a convicted felon at the time. But they gonna look at him, he had guns? And the guns were defaced? Oh, why is he defacing weapons? If he's a law-abiding citizen. If he's a law-abiding citizen, why is he defacing weapons? That's the first charge when you want somebody locked up that you're going to put on there. The second charge is going to be the drugs. The second charge is going to be the drugs. How much drugs they caught at the house, how much drugs they caught at the hotel. They're going to put all that stuff together. And they're going to say, he had this much drugs. They had this amount of drugs at his house and doing his arrest. They didn't even put that. Then the next charge will be the sex abuse charge, not sex abuse, the prostitution charges, that prostitution charge, stuff like that. And then maybe the RICO, how this ties into the RICO, and then the racketeering. The jury would have looked at that and say, yo, they caught the guns at his house. What security company gonna say, oh, that was our guns, you understand, and we filed off the serial numbers? What legitimate security company gonna go there and then do the 10 years for him. They didn't want him, bro. They didn't want him because he had still people in power. He still had enough information on a lot of different people. If you don't think this is Epstein and Diddy related, you out your mind, bro. Him and Diddy was working for the same people all these years. Diddy ain't did a damn song, but he's a music mogul. He ain't did a damn song that made any top 10 in what? In the last 10, 15 years, but he a music mogul. He was getting his money off alcohol. And by him getting his money off alcohol, those people in power that he was working for and doing the stuff for them, they wanted to slap his ass on the wrist. They wanted to let him know that shit that you talking, that stuff by calling us racist, that stuff about saying the stuff that he heard Tupac say, we want to show you. You know how they showed him? They took Cassie. Let me break this down to you, man. Cassie had been away from Diddy about what? 2011. Before she filed a lawsuit, about 7, 8 years. Don't quote me, because I could be wrong. But before she filed a lawsuit, she had been away from Diddy a considerable long time. She didn't file her lawsuit until Diageo had that. Him and Diageo was in court with each other. You understand what I'm saying? She didn't file a lawsuit to her and Diageo. Him and Diageo was in court with each other. Let's peep game. Now, Cassie filing this lawsuit. She get the top 3 lawyers in New York City. One lawyer that's over the LGBT. You understand? One lawyer that's human rights lawyer. Then she get one lawyer, the top lawyer that's in employment. Right? And one of the top civil suit attorneys. How could she afford those 3 lawyers? All these people have been trying to bring cases against Puff and a lot of dudes in the music industry. They don't take them because they know they hard to win money over. But she get the top 3 lawyers. Who gave her those lawyers? I want people to think. 9 times out of 10, some publicist or somebody who know those people in Diageo gave her those lawyers. Do you know why they gave her the lawyers? They gave her the lawyers because they have a clause in their contracts against Puff. Puff had a good suit against them, and I think he may have won. And if he win that suit, they owe him anywhere from maybe 400. Well, I know he's made like 400 million on that, but it came close to probably 1.2 billion to $2 billion. They would have owed him that money. So they get Cassie, you understand, to file a lawsuit against him, which was in a civil suit. She files a civil suit. They pay the money. Now she gets money from Puff, legal, insurance or whatever like that, and the hotel, she gets money from them. All right, from them not doing what they supposed to do. So other people see that she got money, so they filed a lawsuit. I told this little dude, Lil Rod, and I said this way before he even came out and said anything. I said, if you look at Lil Rod's lawsuit, it reads like an indictment. And anytime the prosecutor, whether it's state or federal, want to take those civil lawsuits and see any criminality in it, they could bring the person up on charges if they find it legit. Now, he came out and said that the prosecutor, what did he say? Came out, the prosecutor said something. The federal prosecutor got in touch with him. He sat down with him. It's supposed to be 3 hours. It ended up being 4 days. And they brought charges up against Diddy and stuff like that. So now, they brought charges up against him, but they didn't bring charges up against him that would put him in jail for 5 or 10 years. They could have brought more witnesses, bruh. Don't think that Gina didn't testify because they didn't want her and all this stuff like that. Because when they want you, ain't nowhere you can hide, brother. Not in the United States of America. Nobody. They put those marshals on you. You better not use no credit cards, no cell phones. You better not do anything. You better not be seen nowhere. They got facial recognition and all this shit like that. So if they wanted to bring more people in, they could have. But they just wanted to slap them on the wrist. Give them a felony because of what? Because in that Diageo contract, they have what you call it's a clause, and it's about what kind of clause is it? It's not a human rights clause. It's a character clause. Check out this. And you are guilty or found guilty of breaking any of those character clauses in that contract, Diageo don't have to give you a goddamn dime. Now, the federal government has just showed us that they all about business and they all about the tax, the business, and because this big business people use they people to take this clown ass nigga to jail. All because they didn't want to pay him that $1.2 billion or that $2 billion and get him in that character clause so they could just drop everything. He don't get a dime from them. The federal government took the taxpayers' money and did some service for their friends and big business. But Puff had friends too. So they said, okay, we ain't gonna send him to jail for a considerably long time. What we gonna do is we gonna slap him on the wrist and let him know. And that'll let the other ones know that doing shit for us too. Don't play games with us. Don't play games with us. Because all this shit was about money. And them not paying his money. Because if they wanted him to go to jail, if they wanted that nigga in jail, they would have hit him with those gun charges. They would have hit him with those drug charges. They would have brought the cook. They would have brought other people into court and not have us thinking, oh, we gonna do this RICO, we gonna do this racketeering. You only need 2 people. You only need 2 people. They could have brought in more people. They had more people. So all this was about the money. And that's why he's getting a slap on the wrist. This wasn't about justice. This wasn't about justice for Big. This wasn't about justice for Tupac. This wasn't about justice for Wolf Mother, Miss Wallace. This wasn't about justice for Cassie. This wasn't justice about nobody. This was all about these people not paying this motherfucker a dime, bro. And they used the federal government to do it. And the federal government used the taxpayers' money to do it.
You made a good point when it came to the lawyers. It does make you think how she was able to afford them 3 lawyers. 3 of the top lawyers in New York.
But brother, the good point is that it's not only the lawyers. How did she afford the lawyers? Because, you know, New York lawyers, they very seldom do pro bono unless it's a car accident. You understand? Those cases don't come pro bono. Or if we get a dime, then you get some money too. Nah, it wasn't like that, bro. It wasn't like that at all. These people use the federal government. They call their people in high places. Man, we need to, if y'all don't do something about this cat, you understand? We got to give them $1.2 billion or $2 billion. This is the largest liquor company, spirit company in the world. They got friends in every part of government. They got friends in all countries. So what do? They call in their people. Well, we got them saying this. We got them doing this to Cassie. We got these tapes and everything. Man, come on, bro. This dude paid people to commit crimes. It's not a crime, bro, that to get a tape and tell somebody, here go 100,000. Don't show nobody that I beat that person on the tape. That's not a crime. And then they want us to believe. The only thing they could get him on, the only thing they can make jury believe that he did was promoting prostitution. And then promoting that prostitution, man, I don't know, in the state level, he might have to, if it was a state level, 9 times out of 10, he has to register as a sex offender. I don't know about the federal level, but I hope he had to register as a sex offender.
Why you hoping he got to register as a sex offender? That's a wild comment, yeah.
My man, I said, I hope he has to register as a sex offender. And ain't no friend of mine. Anybody who want to do me dirty, anybody who want to see me done, I don't care nothing about him. F him and feed him beans, bruh. F him, anybody look like him, got his last name, and rode on a boat with him. I supposed to care about my enemy? I supposed to have some love for him? I supposed to turn the other cheek? Nah. I'm not doing none of the above. You wish me dead, you wish shit on me, you send niggas at me the whole 9 yards, and I supposed to have some love for you? Nah. I don't turn the other cheek, bro. That's for you fun boys. That's for you dudes out there that want looking for friends, looking for followers, looking for fans. Nah, I'm from the Lou. I don't give a shit about you.
What was the situation regarding the judge where his rules wasn't being followed? Can you give me the backstory behind that?
Bruh, that's how you knew the shit was foul. The head of the juror on the first day said, we have somebody in here that's not following your instructions. The judge was supposed to bring all them back in there and gave his instructions. But what he did was he sent them back in there and said, y'all deliberate again. He sent them back in there and said, y'all deliberate again. And they come back with a verdict. I said it. If they reach the verdict before the 4th, we ain't gonna get the racketeering, we ain't gonna get the RICO. So that person who didn't do it and wasn't following the rules and regulation and everything like that, they're probably one of the strongest jurors. And that's why they probably came out with the shit. They didn't follow the instructions of the judge.
Why you say we didn't get a RICO? You was hoping he got found guilty on the RICO?
Man, listen to me, bruh. I don't know what's wrong with these new wave cats. That nigga could walk through hell with gasoline drawers on in my book. Man, I don't give a fuck about him. You understand? How you gonna care about a nigga that wish you dead? that's telling niggas, yo, if you see Gene, do dirt to him. And what I mean, we, the taxpayers, we the people went at him. We the people that form a more perfect union. When we hire these government people in here to do the job they supposed to do the job of the people. If they brought him to court and they had charges on him, they were supposed to charge that motherfucker with all the charges they supposed to have on him. So they didn't. So anybody that's mad at me and give a you can love your enemies. That's you. Me and you different.
What you think about Cassie asking the judge not to give Diddy a bail?
How do I feel about Cassie asking the judge not to give him bail? She has every right. She has every right. Listen here, bro. I heard Cassie getting a lot of flack on the internet right now. And I hear guys and people saying that she's a co-conspirator. She wanted it. She orchestrated the whole thing. Half the thing, she was part of it. I even know that, and I'm hearing that guys are saying she was victimizing them also. I don't know how you can victimize, well, you can, I guess, a prostitute if they coming to have sex and they coming to being a prostitute. I guess you can. They could be victimized if somebody 109 pounds wet beat you up or whatever like that. I guess you could be victimized on that. You know, I don't even know, bruh. But what I want people to understand is that you talk about a 19-year-old girl taking ecstasy, taking pink, green, yellow, white cocaine, licking frog legs or that frog shit that Diddy was talking about that makes you hallucinate, along with marijuana, along with alcohol, in a 19-year-old brain. Then gotta take beatings. You better like this. You better do this. This girl has went through all this shit. And if you don't think that she ain't groomed and brainwashed, about time she get to you, then you don't know the full story. I've seen cases, I've seen that, and doing the job that I've done for 27 years. If you don't believe that this girl was brainwashed, you don't believe this girl was drugged out, coked out, whatever you want to call it, to do some of this, something's wrong with you. Because even if a 19-year-old, 20-year-old got with a 40-year-old, you could have, and she was a freak. Just say she was a straight out freak doing this and doing that, and she was capable of doing some of the things they say Cassie doing. If you wanted to be right by her, you could have been like, nah, babe, we ain't doing that. You're beautiful. I don't know what man had you before or what you was doing before, but I want you to be mine. I'm not going to have men pissing in your mouth. You ain't got to do that no more, ma. You ain't got to have two dicks up inside you at one time. You ain't got to do that no more, ma. I'm finna cuff you. And I'm going to show you how a woman supposed to be. I'm going to show you supposed to do, how you supposed to act, how you supposed to talk. You ain't got to do none of that shit no more. If you wanted to be right by that girl. If she came to you wrong. He didn't do that. You see what he did. So, how I feel about Cassie, wanting the judge not to let that nigga go, I applaud her bravery. Because now, I don't think she the coked out Cassie, the ecstasy Cassie. I don't think she's none of those things that she was before. I don't think she's none of the people, none of the drugs she was before. I don't think she is, bro. She's trying to be a mother to her kids, a wife to her husband. You see what Alex did? He knew all her dirt. He knew all her shit. He cuffed her. He cuffed her and made her his woman. The woman that he wanted. If Diddy was any motherfucking good, he could have did that baby the same way.
So here's the thing, right? Cassie, she got with Diddy when she was 19. They broke up when she was 31. You saying that he had her brainwashed at 31.
Bruh, you got to realize is that the Stockholm theory, whereas that you could be captive by somebody and start loving the motherfucker that captured you. So what I'm trying to tell you, with the alcohol, with the drugs, with all that plan in place, 10 years fly by like this anyway. So now you done trained her brain. And if you training somebody to do certain things, they're going to think like you want them to think. They're going to think like you want them to think, brother. Do you think that when the pimp trains a prostitute and she's out there hoeing for 10 to 15 years, she not hoeing she hoeing with her brains or hoeing with his brains? She hoeing with what he has taught her. What he has told her, you better not look no other pimp in the eye. You better not speak to no other pimp. When you see a John, you let them know. Money on the wood make the pussy good. She's talking all that kind of shit that she has learned from him. So you gonna tell me a 19-year-old that's been fascinated by getting in a G5 jet. She in California at 12 o'clock, but she's in Teterboro Airport at 5 o'clock. She's going to the meanest nightclub where they spreading everything out the way and letting her come through because she with this cat right here. Her mind, everything has been groomed to that. About 2-3 years of me training her, doing this and doing that, she gonna be my bottom bitch. That's the facts of the game. So, she didn't have a mind of her own till somebody snapped her out of there. Stop taking the drugs. Stop drinking the alcohol. Stop smoking the weed. Stop all that shit that you was doing before and get with a real man so we can have a real family. So we could do real shit. Not the shit that make you seem like you're in the Matrix. That's how I feel about that.
Big son CJ, what's going on with him? You heard about these allegations that they're accusing him of?
Oh my God. I'm looking at this whole thing, right? And this shit is going to get bigger and uglier than what it's supposed to be. You understand? God bless the dead Miss Wallace. I hope I have my information correct. I think that CJ on the death of Miss Wallace is supposed to run the Christopher Wallace estate. Miss Wallace has her own estate, and there's a Christopher Wallace estate. I think CJ is supposed to run that upon Miss Wallace, upon the death of Miss Wallace. So now, prior to Miss Wallace dying, they were selling Big's catalogs, his likeness, all this stuff to this big company for $150 million. The same persons that your boy Diddy put into place with Miss Wallace was still running the Biggs Foundation. Miss Wallace had no knowledge of the music business and stuff like that. Wayne Barrow and what's this guy named Mark Pitts was running it up until about 3 years ago. And I heard allegedly, and I mean this is something that I heard, that Mark Pitts may have thought that Wayne Barrows was doing some things that was underhanded in the Biggs estate, with the Big estate. Because if you really look at it, if you go look at every movie and every film thing damn near that Miss Wallace has been executive producer, because she was running the Christopher Wallace estate and her estate, and she was the executive producer. Guess who name is under her name as either co-executive producer or also executive producer? Wayne Barrows. Wayne Barrows was a worker. He wasn't Lil CJ. He wasn't Tatiana. Why is he executive producer anything that got to do with Biggie Smalls? Christopher Wallace. But he made the people, if y'all want this project, if y'all want to do this project, I'm putting my name on this for this paycheck too, like that. So now, Christopher Latrell Wallace estate gets sold for $150 million. $150 million. Who was married to him the time he lost his life? Faith Evans. Who they write the check out to? Faith Evans. They wrote the check out to Faith Evans for $150 million. I used to think Faith was beautiful back in the day. She looked real good. No, just with you, bro. You understand? So they write a check out for $150 million. She gives CJ some paper. She gives Big Daughter some paper. However you want to look at it, that was her jackpot. That was her mega million. That was her Powerball. Check this shit out. This is how dirty they are in the industry. Wayne Barrows, who don't have any legitimacy to that money because he wasn't Big's brother, he wasn't Big's son, he wasn't Big's father, no kin to him. He just worked the estate. Is suing Faith because he said that money is owed by, that money has some of that money is due to the Christopher Wallace and I guess the Miss Wallace estate. Miss Wallace ain't here no more. But he had her sign over the rights to him. Well, he runs the estate and he's this, that, and the third. But it was an agreement made that it goes to CJ. What would stop CJ from getting the estate? Come on, people, catch up with me. It's a clause that's in a lot of contracts. Has to do with character. It's a morality clause. You ain't heard shit about CJ and none of this dumb shit. But all of a sudden now you hear something that he did this with Diddy and brought somebody there with Diddy and stuff like that, and it mess up the morality for him to run this contract and run this agency. This how they do, bro. For that dollar, they'll go after anybody. For that dollar, they don't want to hear the truth. So a lot of this going at CJ like that, it's the bull crap of the industry for people trying to get that Biggie money for that Wallace Foundation shit. It just, just don't happen like that, bro. Listen to me. You don't get $150 million, get Ms. Wallace and signed you as the executor, or you are you over the estate and everything like that. And then now the real person who's going to be over the estate now that she's died, because while she was alive, you had what's the word is when you're in charge of something? You have the Thank you, my brother. That's my brother. I got some smart ass brothers, man. They be right there on the side, right there. They gave him power of attorney. They gave Ms. Wallace gave Wayne Barrows power of attorney because she was sick on medication, this, that, and the third, the whole 9 yards. You understand? So now, CJ is about to take over all that, Christopher Wallace like that, because that was the agreement that Faith and her have. But now, what will stop CJ from taking over that stuff is the morality clause that they have in those contracts. And if he looks some kind of way and he gets in trouble about this, he can't take over the foundation because it won't look good to the people that's on the board. It's a dirty game out here.
The people want me to show you this video of King Kones. Check your phone right quick. I want to get your opinion on that.
King Kones tried to get his girlfriend to twerk for the audience, and she shut it down. He ain't no real boss. He ain't no real king.
Oh my God, y'all. From a professional, man. My bad, y'all. It's hard to say something negative, man. I don't want to say nothing negative, but that ain't talent, y'all. And he got the mic up to his head. It's not even... One more time, man. It's serious. Are you serious? You serious, right?
For the audience.
These kids, they don't even realize that talent, the definition of talent has a lot to do with something that other people struggle to do, or they got to practice real hard to do. Like running a race. All the people with them numbers on their chest and running the race, they fast. Who's the fastest? Anybody can't, man, come on, man. So you think anybody can just grab a microphone and just start rapping? That's what you think? Then let's see.
And she shut it down.
Watch this, man. That ain't talent, man. I'm sorry.
He ain't no real boss. He ain't no real king. He could make her earn her keep.
He ain't no real boss. Real boss don't brag on being a boss. Might cross the boss. Now, what part of being a boss you think I ain't? And let me prove to you that I am. Oh my God. Oh my God. I keep thinking about the dude in the orange shirt that kept playing somebody else's music. When I make my point, I play my own music. I ain't bragging. I'm just trying to show y'all the difference in the facts. Oh my God. And everybody talk all that trash and think that they all that has done time. Including this little boy. He about to do some time or get spanked on the hand or something. He in the court system. Basically, here we go, y'all.
He ain't no real king, man. Come on, man. These kids is clowns out here, bro. You know, it don't have really nothing to do with his father being in jail or nothing like that. You know, these guys right here, they always wanted to be, you know, instead of going and doing something positive in the world and being somebody positive in the world, they live this lifestyle of spoiled, rich kids and been given enough to do nothing instead of being given something enough to do something. They've been given enough to do nothing instead of being given enough to do something. There's a difference. So, never had to work a day in his life. All he know is the hip-hop scene, want to be something that he's not. He ain't no real boss. He ain't no real king. Because a king, we either two things. He would have had her as his queen, or she'd have been down there twerking. That's how a king do it. So that's what I think about that, brother. These kids think that, you know, they find their salvation in women. You understand? They find their salvation in women. And if your girl go out there and she show her ass and she do this like that in front of everybody, and dudes wish and wish they had it, it make them more than what they really are. But it's some dumb clown shit. That's all. I look at it. The kid don't know no better. You understand? You take his brain and put it in a bird that'll fly backwards. You understand? This kid don't know no better. He don't know nothing about the streets. He don't know nothing about, you know, nothing. He had father was supposed to be a mogul, and he ain't put out a hit album yet. He had a father that had producer friends from Khaled, Kanye, Swiss Beats, Pharrell, maybe what's the dude from Virginia? Timberland, Scott Storch. And he can't get not one beat from each one of those cats and put out a hit album. He lost, bro. Anything for attention right now, man. Anything for attention, you know, and if they want to make you believe that they happy, they want to fool you to believe that they happy, bruh. He's an attention seeker. I look back on all the things that all his sons had been doing. Well, just him, Justin, because Quincy ain't his son. That's Al B. Sure's son. King Kones has been the reckless of all of them that came to represent him. Did some mixtape with Kanye West, dissing the witnesses, threatening them with a rifle.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Outside the courtroom with his shirt off, doing jumping jacks,
Push-ups.
screaming victory and all that. Talking about they going on tour, the reunion tour, whatever. Then having his girl twerk or trying to get his girl to twerk or whatever like that. Like I told you,
That's crazy, yeah.
when I knew him, he was a baby. He had a snotty nose. It seemed like he had a cold every day, even in the summertime. No joke. Never closed his mouth. Like he looked just like his daddy. I was like, yo, boy, you cursed. You know what I'm saying? This kid even tried to claim some gang stuff. Claimed to be a gang member the whole 9 yards. Christian, I would tell you to grow up. I would tell you to get a little bit more serious about life and to be a man, but I don't give a damn. Keep up the good work. Hope all you motherfuckers fall.
I was peeping out your channel and you made a comment that stood out to me. You made a comment about how Diddy, he might not get out. What makes you believe that?
I made that statement because I really thought the prosecution at first was trying to get him in jail. You got to realize is that they was going all over the country. And I heard one of the podcasters say this before, and this is true because I did my research on it. When Damian Williams was in there, shout out to Tisha Tells, but everybody know Damian Williams, he was a government pansy to a certain degree. He went in and did cases, you understand, for the big business people also. That's what our government is, bro. It's a big business. So now, when they was talking about going out of the country, when I seen that they didn't do any research on the taxes, where the money was going, why did he got all his money in everybody else's name, his kid's name? What is you hiding? What are you hiding when you got everything in your kid's name, your mama name? And the government didn't go after that part? That led me to believe they didn't really want him because they had enough time. They had enough time. So, I say this all the time. Facts change feelings, but feelings can't change facts. So my feelings was they wanted him at first. But when the facts started coming in, they didn't want him. When the facts of the matter, he didn't get certain charges. When the facts of the matter, they didn't look into certain things that they were supposed to be looking in, they didn't really want him. They still got an opportunity. They still got an opportunity. Maybe those other 5 white girls, since one got fired, maybe those other 5 white girls, they'll file some paperwork, you understand, and say that, well, it's some new charges. Let's hope and pray for that. Let's hope and pray for that.
If he does get out, are you worried that he might do something to you?
Man, let me tell you one thing, bro. How I'm gonna be afraid of a motherfucker that used to pay me to bodyguard him? If I was afraid, I'd be in church. Excuse me for that. But if I was afraid, I'd be in church.
If I was afraid, I'd be in church. Dear Lord, please help me. Not just praying by the bed. I would be in church. Oh God, G, let them know what you talking about, cousin.
Day, bro. How I'm gonna be afraid of a motherfucker that used to pay me to bodyguard him? If I was afraid, I'd be in church. Excuse me for that. But if I was afraid, I'd be in church. I ain't never been scared, and I wasn't scared when he was on the street. When he was on the street telling dudes to come at me, I wasn't scared then. I've been the dude all my life that bullied the bully. What I give a fuck about a motherfucker that gotta pay somebody to do something for them? So all these guys, all these clowns that you see on the internet posting things, wow, when Diddy get out, let him come out. I know one thing. I got people that love me. I got brothers that love me. We made a pact a long time ago. We made a pact a long time ago. I don't give a fuck about no law enforcement. I don't give a fuck about no job, none of that. If you hurt me, you gonna hurt too. I know a fact that my brothers, my cousins, is gonna make you hurt too. And I'm good with that. I know for a fact my friends is gonna make you hurt too. And all I ask them is them to send you where you try to send me. I ain't scared, bro. I ain't scared of no man. Never have, never will. Like I said, I've always bullied the bully and took up for the man who needed help.
Let me ask you about this, though. It's a lawsuit by John Doe, and they alleging that, Diddy.
Ever since elementary school, man, I remember the little kid looking so scared. And he had nobody to help him. But everybody wanted to see a fight. Everybody wanted to see a fight but him. Because he was in the fight. And the other dude that was going to fight him clearly know he can beat him. This little boy looked like he was going to cry. I think I was in 4th or 5th grade. And I don't know what made me say this. But I leaned over to him and I said, all you gotta do is tell me you don't want to fight. Let me know. Give me a signal or something. And I will make sure that this fight don't go down. And I told everybody, including the guy that was fighting, ain't gonna be no fight. And people started saying stuff like, let him fight, I want to see a fight. And when he said that, I said, well, if you want to see a fight, you come fight me. And you should see all the heads go down like they are afraid of the big bad Mike. And I wasn't no big bad person. I just let them know that I wasn't scared. This man is scared. He is fearful. He don't want to fight. Some people got fight in them and some people don't. Ever since my whole life, this is how I've been. If you want to fight, let's fight. If you want to make love and have fun, well, not make love. You know, like, y'all know what y'all think. Y'all know what y'all think. I'm talking positive and happiness. You have to fight in order to get happiness. You have to fight in order to get happiness. And I'm ready to fight for it. That's how much I love happiness. So I remind myself of Gene. I don't care what anybody say. You can lie all you want, Gene. You can lie all you want. I'm down with you. If you got to lie to get your point across, then I'm down with you. F them haters. F them fakers. Real recognize real. Bye. Because my white fiance over here getting on my nerves again.
Man who needed help.
Who needed help.
Let me ask you about this, though. It's a lawsuit by John Doe, and they alleging that, you know, Diddy, he climaxed in a Biggie t-shirt, and he threw the t-shirt at John Doe, and C-Man got all over the guy. I don't know, man. How you feel about that?
Man, I don't have no feelings about that nasty, dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to speak on that shit because I don't know, you know, if these dudes are victims or if they are participants that's looking for a payday. I don't want to speak on which way they are. But a real man is not going to let nobody do them like that. A real man is not going to be sitting up looking at no porn with no other man and just men around. A real man is not going to wait until you say 2020? No, 5 years. 5 years or 4.5 years or something like that to speak on some shit like this. So, how much of a victim he is, how much of a participant he was at first, and now it's nasty and is looking into a payday right now, I don't know, and I can't speak on that. But we know he's nasty. There were people in court that said that this man watches other men bust semen on his girl so he can lick it off. This is what was said in court. So we know he's nasty to do anything. He's a sexual deviant. But we got a lot of these podcasters out here choking on their words for Diddy, ready to be at the next revolt party so they can gag on him.
Yeah, speaking of gag, this guy claims that Diddy tried to shove his penis in his mouth and tell him to suck it or whatever. I'm just reading this article. This is the article.
Who was that? MC Gag? That was MC Gag that he choked. He tried to choke his penis down his throat? It probably was. I don't mean to laugh at the victim, bruh, but that shit is crazy. What are you doing when somebody trying to do that? Was somebody holding him? Was somebody holding him? Did the dude have legs? Did he have a camera in his hand? Was he a legendary producer and he was trying to produce it while Diddy was doing it? Which one is it? Because that's crazy. What are you doing when this man is doing all this to you, bro? And I'm not defending Diddy or nothing like that. I'm just looking at the whole story that this been telling. What is he doing? That shit is weird to me, man. Real weird.
Check your phone. Look at what he said about Diddy.
DJ enough?
So your relationship with him was love and hate.
That's my dude,
so
bro.
I say love because what he stood for and I guess what he was representing, right? And I got to see the birth of Bad Boy and I was a part of it and it just felt wonderful.
Right.
But then it was just like the hate part because it was like I worked so hard on my craft to be a producer and now you want to take all my credit for the shit that I did.
I didn't know that.
You know, it hurt. The percentages that I was given wasn't fair to me. So I'm looking at like to this day, I produced a record on a diamond album.
11 million copies.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy. And my checks ain't right. They're supposed to be right. So I was mad at my manager. I was mad at...
Who was your manager at the time?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, let's not leave
That's
her out
Diddy
the fucking
people.
mix. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was mad at her. I was mad at everybody. But I was mad at everybody because you think that these guys are your friends,
my God.
but they're not.
Oh, my God. Envy was a good dude back in the day. Envy, I still got those blue cuffs. I keep a lot of... They had DJ Envy on it. You was the first one that came out with those blue wristbands.
DJ Enough.
DJ Enough. Yeah, DJ Enough, not DJ Envy. DJ Enough. Remember you had those blue wristbands that you gave out on tour that you used to throw out? I still got mine, bro. You understand? With the Knicks colors on them, whatever like that, to say DJ Enough. Yeah. DJ Enough was a good dude. Jessica Rosenberg and Diddy is just like this. They was the one that was a part of that City College together. She was the one that took him to Clyde Davis, and she was the one who opened a lot of doors for Diddy. She was the one, listen here, the New Yorker, the Shine shooting, that was her party. So she had DJ Enough, Funkmaster Flex. She had a lot of dudes under contract and was their managers. But she is going to always look out for Diddy. So I can understand where he's coming from.
And yeah, I mean, he's right about Life After Death. That did go down. And I had no idea that he produced You're Nobody. So yeah, that's crazy, man, to hear that, you know, he ain't getting the right money he's supposed to get for that. And that's a diamond album.
Listen here, bro. Did you hear what 50 Cent said about that a dude, I think it was, I don't know, it was WizKid or one of the DJs, said, he told the dude, you could take this 50,000 or you could take 1 point on an album. And the dude took the 50,000. If he would have took 1 point on 50 album, he'd have got about $2 million. You hear me? So now, if this guy, he probably didn't get a point if the album was diamond. That's crazy. But you see how people speaking out? And everybody want to go and praise and say how good of a businessman he is, how good he was to people. And you got people that he's lived off of their musical talents, of their craft all these years.
October 3rd, what's your prediction for the outcome?
When October the 3rd comes, the judge is going to have all the information in front of him. Let's just hope that the federal government use the taxpayers' money wisely. Let's hope the federal government treat them like they treated John Gotti. treat him like they treated R. Kelly, which they ain't treat R. Kelly right anyway, but they won. But let's hope that the federal government use the taxpayers' money wisely and give him what he deserves. Because the judge has anywhere from 22 to 54 months under the Mann Act. I think that could be right. But then they have to take in consideration that phony-ass program that he's doing. But they also got to take in consideration the witness statement. They got to take in consideration the prosecution and what they are asking for, and the stuff that the legal terms that court cases that they bring forward, and the defense, the court cases they bring forward. The judge could say, time served, and put him on probation for probably about 5 years. Or the judge could say, Mr. Diddy, Mr. Papa Diddy Pop, Mr. Brother Love, whatever your name is, I'm going to give you a year and a half to think about it. Based on the antics, based on what he been doing, based on what the judge seen, and based on the victim statements, if he do the right thing, he'll hit him with a year and a half.
So when it comes to the victim, so what do you think they should do? Because I have been seeing that on social media, people calling that out. Like, man, they had them testify against Puffy, and if he gets out, what do they do? Do they go into hiding, or, do they get security? Like, how does that work?
You got to realize is that, man, you have taken this guy and put him behind bars for about a year. You understand? And that even though the federal government blew the case for not charging him with the crimes that could stick to him, he still would never be the same Sean John, Puffy, Diddy, or whatever. He'll never be the same, bro. This dude will never sell another product unless it's Astroglide and baby oil. This guy will never sell another product unless it's Astroglide and baby oil. Don't no real people, the public, nobody but a few hood niggas that don't have nothing to live for, ain't never did nothing really in their own life, never worked no job, never had no career, never did nothing but depend on what he did. You understand? Don't nobody want to be a part of this dude no more. And I'm happy with that. And I don't feel like none of those people who did those things have to worry about Diddy. Because people are going to be looking. There's good people out in this world. There's still some good people in law enforcement. There's still some good people in the government that's going to make sure that he don't think he got that power to do something to somebody. And then if he do, he's sitting at a place that they got for him right now. He's sitting in the place that they got for, that they make for people like that. And when he get to those places, on a for real, he'll find out playtime is over.
Gene Deal, great interview. Before we end it, man, let the people know what you got popping, what you got going on.
Listen, You can always go to Amazon, get both of my books. I'm going to try to have this third one out before August the 18th. That's my due date. And I'm pushing it. I told you that K. Slate chapter was crazy. I got 4 more chapters in this to write. I'm on the 8th chapter. I got a chapter about Scott Storch, Sue's Rendezvous, D. Ferg, Chaz. You know they're going to be in the same chapter. And the last chapter is going to be strictly about me. So it's a great read. The first 2 books, go look on Amazon, or you could CashApp Big Gene 52 or Big Gene 10, and I'll do a signed autograph for the book. Or you can also look on my Instagram, BigGene_52. And watch out. That Wanted is coming soon. When I get back in New York, I got to go to the distributors, and we're going to do a little ceremony at the bottling plant, and go get that big drip. That big drip is out, yo. 1 can reminds you of that scissor, but it's a better tasting. But go get that big drip by Bugatti. You got to get that. Thank y'all, man. Appreciate you, Art. See you on the 3rd.
That means they got another interview coming up, y'all. See you on the 3rd. Dude, I feel sorry for the kids, man. I'm gonna start off like that. I feel sorry for the kids because they don't know any better because they wasn't taught any better. You can only hold a person accountable for what they was taught and understand right from wrong. And they kids, man. So, shout out to Big Gene, man. Y'all know how we do, man. My album is dropping. I'm sitting here answering as many. I'm doing the best I can do. I'm answering as many comments as I can. I'm letting people know where they can get the album at. It's up to y'all, man. Some people say that, oh, this is a hit song. It's up to y'all, man. This is up to y'all because I done did my part. I done did the music. I done produced the music. I done recorded the music. I did the best I could and put it out there and move forward and say, yo, y'all want to see change in this world? You have to start by making change. Everybody go buy that Beyonce album. Everybody go buy the Jay-Z album. Everybody go buy the Puffy album. And then you got Uncle Mike album out. And it's all crickets. So, what I'm trying to say is you need capital. You need money to make changes in this world. And if I had anywhere near any of these people money, I would make a change to help somebody, to help a large group of people, a large country of people. Say this needs to stop and this needs to start. Especially when it comes down to the kids, man. But I don't care what anybody say. Well, where the kids at? Where the kids? What are you doing to get? What are you doing for the kids? What are you doing for the kids? Right now, like Ali Carter is bringing awareness. Gene Deal is doing the best he can do. You know, we're gonna find out. There are 2 different situations that's going down right now that's gonna let us know. This Puffy situation and the Jay-Z situation. Them 2 things will let us know what time it is in this world. And Trump, you need to stay out of this Puffy stuff. You don't need to be in this Puffy stuff. Hey, y'all, take it light, take it slow. You tell him Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.